a ghost story that sounds completely unbelievable but is entirely true.
I know that I'm pretty late to this trend, but still I wanted to tell this story. My parents' first house, which we called the wooden house, was very haunted. The two most famous stories about this house are: one afternoon, one of my uncles was completely alone at the house, and out of nowhere, a shoe flew from one bedroom to the living room and hit him. And another day, my dad came home where his younger brothers were supposed to be waiting for him. But before he came into the house, a neighbor saw him and told him that he took the kids with him because something scared them. And they never really explained what happened, but they found a cross inside one of the bedrooms. But I never lived there. My parents built what has always been my house right next to the wooden house. And so for me, it was always just an empty place that scared me a bit, but that also attracted me really bad. When I was a child, I often dream of it. And in those dreams, I wasn't able to walk yet, but I was always crawling, following someone, or playing with someone as if we were playing hide and seek. And I used to think that maybe it was my grandparents' house or the house of some other family member, until one afternoon I was looking through some old photo albums with my sister, and I saw a picture of the living room that I used to dream the most. And I told her, and she replied that it was strange because, again, I never lived there. But we thought that it was maybe just a weird coincidence, and we didn't think much of it. When I was around 10 years old, my parents would give me permission to stay here at home and play alone for a few hours while they were at my grandpa's place, which is like a 2 minutes walk away. I knew because someone told me that once or twice a month they would leave the wooden house open because they were cleaning it. And I also knew because someone told me that it was deeply forbidden for me to go inside. But every time I saw that door open, I thought that nothing would happen if I went in just for a bit. So with that door open, from the front steps, I could see one of the windows, which sometimes had curtains and sometimes it didn't. There was also a stove that looked really, really old, like way older than my parents. And I could also see a doll that belonged to my sister. And the thing is that I wanted so bad to get that doll because I knew that it was from a collection that I loved. But every time I dared to get to the third step, the third one, like if I get to the second one and I change my mind, nothing will happen. But if I get to the third one, my dog, Tommy, who was always a pretty calm and quiet dog, would go absolutely crazy, and I would just give up the idea to keep playing with him. That went on for about 2 years until my parents demolished the house. Last year, with my sister-in-law visiting, we were telling ghost stories, and just as we were about to go to sleep, it occurred to me to ask my parents why would they clean the house so often, and why would they also leave the door open just like that for a few hours with no one else here. My parents turned to look at each other, then turned really slowly back to me, and my mom asked, "What did you say?" I told them the same thing that I just told here, and they looked at each other again for a few seconds, and then they turned to me again. And my dad very carefully said, "Zach, we never opened that house again since we moved. We never cleaned it because we didn't need to. We didn't have a stove like that, and we would have never leave any doll in there." Then they told me that it was probably a dream, but I know really well that it wasn't a dream, and they know it also. Now there's a garage where the wooden house used to be, and it still gives me a pretty strange feeling when I'm alone there, so I just avoid it as much as I can. Although for some strange reason, my dogs always ask only me to go there to play with them. We will never know what was really going on. I know damn well that it wasn't a dream. So if anyone here has any theory, I'll be really happy to read it.